Welcome, Facebook. I'm Evan Reel, and today I am joined on Billboard Live by a very special guest, the one and only Miss Sabrina Carpenter. How's it going?
It's going great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited because today is finally the day.
Today's the day.
Singular Act 1 is out, guys.
It's out now.
So exciting. How are you feeling?
I don't know. I really don't, actually. I think I've just been so caught up in everything that I haven't looked at what's happening.
You haven't processed
yet.
it
I haven't
yet.
processed it yet. Hopefully in a little bit I will. I feel like these songs have been out for so long, but really they've just been in my emails.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy they're in everyone's ears, and I'm excited to see what everyone thinks.
So this is album number 3. How would you describe the anticipation leading up to putting out new music? Is it nerve-wracking? Is it exciting?
It's interesting because I feel like I'm in a position, and like in this day and age and with my generation, like with social media, I feel like there's a lot more pressure on people's like debut albums and their first album. And now I'm on my third record, and I released my first record when I was around 16 years old, and it's very far from who I am as a person, but I think it's all a part of the journey of finding yourself as an artist. And I was really lucky that when I released my debut album, I had a little bit of time to then afterwards find myself, and I wasn't kind of held into that one genre or type or style. So I feel like every single album thus far that I've put out, including my last one and this one, I've been experimenting. And this is the closest I've ever felt to Sabrina, which is why I called it Singular.
That's amazing. Yeah, tell me about the concept behind Singular. What I love about the album is that every song has such a different vibe, but it also feels like a very cohesive body of work.
That was kind of the goal, but obviously that's a very hard thing to accomplish and for me to like think of going into an album. And I never had a concept going into it. I just wanted to write things that I loved and that kept me up at night. So once I kind of was writing for about 2 years, I then looked back and listened to all my favorite songs, and there was this theme that was very cohesive throughout every song. That was this unspoken confidence and empowerment that I don't really think I even knew was there until I listened to everything. And a lot of people around me were like, I've never heard this side of you. You sound like, you just let yourself go in a good way.
Yeah, I love that. And so you co-wrote all 8 songs on the album. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing because, again, I think I am so comfortable when I'm doing what I love. And so when you're surrounded by people that are also passionate about similar things and you're all working towards a goal of like, I was very lucky that the people that co-wrote this album and produced this album were all people that had my best interests at heart. Not only that, but also like cared about who I was growing into as a person and an artist.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really special because I'm still young,
Yeah.
still figuring it out.
Fresh 19.
It's fresh out of the oven.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you were writing the songs, where did you pull most of your inspiration from?
Life.
Yeah.
My life. And you'd be surprised. Like when you start writing about your own life, other people relate to it. It's
Yeah.
a weird concept, music. But I've fallen in love with that idea, and I've fallen in love with the fact that you think like you're the only person going through something until you're not, and you realize there's so many people that are right there by your side.
Right, and you were saying that you've evolved album to album. How would you describe that evolution? Like, who is 16-year-old Sabrina versus 19-year-old Sabrina?
That's a question, because no one likes themselves at 16 when they're 19,
Yeah,
right?
I definitely did not.
Anybody? Nah. Yeah.
Like, no
you kinda,
thanks.
like,
Not
start
trying to
cringe,
remember that time.
right? Yeah. So I feel like different in every way possible, but I'm sure the people around me know that I still have similar qualities.
Yeah.
I think there was just a sense of I had to start making decisions that I was happy with and that I was comfortable with, or else other people were going to make them for me. And then I realized, hopefully if all goes well, I'll be singing these songs for many years, and I wouldn't want to be singing something that I didn't like for the rest of my life that someone else told me to do.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally.
I had to take control a little.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Singular era. Act 2 is coming out sometime next year.
Yeah.
Is that album already finished? Are we still working on that? What can we expect from that?
It's this close.
Yeah.
I think releasing this first half has made me want to rethink the second half, but I'm also trying to tell myself that maybe I should just trust my instincts, because originally I did want to release it as one album, but then I thought, you know, so many of these songs are so special to me, and I loved them all so much that I wanted them to each have their own lifespan.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure almost everything on the second half is done as of right now. But
is it a completely different vibe, or is it sort of similar?
Well, like you said, every song on this album has its own life, but they're all cohesive, and that's the same as it is on the second half. Yeah.
I love that. Now, do you have a favorite track from Act 1? Is it hard? Since you wrote all of them, I'm sure they all feel like your babies.
They are my children, and it is very hard because I picked these first 8 for a reason. You know what I mean? Because I loved them all so much. Lyrically, I really love Sumi, which is a song I'll be singing today.
The next single as well.
The next single. Yeah, just because it came from such a real place, and it felt like one of those times where you actually get to write about something happening in your life, and you turn that negative experience into a positive memory that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And something that a lot of people, I think, can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the line "Sue me for looking too pretty." I feel like I can really
relate to that
Yeah.
like all the time.
That's
like right now, I kind of feel like that.
That's gonna be my new clapback for everything. Like,
and every Instagram like selfie that you feel bad for posting,
God,
will be like, "Sue me for looking too." You know what I mean?
It's perfect.
Yeah, I love marketing. It's my passion.
So tell me about what you're gonna be singing today. Obviously, you're doing "Sue Me" and then Paris.
And then Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote Paris after I had gone to Paris for the first time, which was one of my biggest dreams.
Wow.
It's just a city that I was always fascinated by, like a lot of people when they're little, but when I went, it was just like I was able to create a little bit more depth behind my story, and yeah, it became one of the more, there's no other song on the album that's like Paris, which is cool.
It's so good, and you speak in French. Tell me how that verse came to be.
How that verse came to be? Well, we had finished the rest of the song, and we didn't have a bridge. And Jason Evigan, who's a producer, has done a bit of work with Britney, and he was like,
she spoke French on her latest album.
He was like, we need a Britney moment. I don't know if this was before or after that.
Okay.
But he was like, we need like a Britney talking moment.
I'm never mad at a Britney talking moment.
I was like, well, we got to do it in French. And then I was like, all right, who speaks French? And there was crickets. And then after that, I had kind of roughly like written with Leland, who's my co-writer on the song. We'd roughly written this, like what we wanted to say, the sentiment of what we wanted to say. So for a good couple months, there was the complete wrong version of the bridge, and then I luckily had some locals that I love, like local friends that helped me make it perfect.
It sounds perfect. It's so amazing. I can't wait to hear you do it live.
Thank you so much.
I'm not going to keep the fans waiting any longer. Sabrina Carpenter, take it away. I'm going to have your amazing guitarist Caleb replace me.
Let's do it. Caleb, replace him. Thank you so much.
Of course. Guys, get singular.